up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, man. We back at it again on the way to work and everything. I just want to talk real quick. We having a little bit of an issue. Nobody's talking about the whole situation with Joe Biden, like, on a serious level. Like, people are seeing what's going on with this man. He was just at the graduation ceremony. It looked like his legs just gave out completely. He was walking back and then boom, he hits the floor. I'm like, what? This is the president of the United States. And I'm not going to hold you. If he was back in 2012, when if he would have been able to run for president and win over Obama or whatever, blah, blah, blah. If he was president then, I feel as though, things would be a lot different, Things would have gone in a different way. But I feel like he is so cognitively out of it, like mentally out of it, that there are people, in my estimation, if I could turn up missing, I'm probably right. But there are people that just sign off on things, or have him just sign off on things, and he don't think nothing of it. It's almost common sense. Why on earth, or why in the States, why would we do that to a person at his age? More often than not, families are trying to put that kind of person of that age, more often than they have somebody taking care of them. They're living with somebody in the 80s, like somebody in their 80s. More often than not, they ain't walking around. You don't want them drive. They ain't driving nowhere more often than not. I know nowadays 80 is the new 65, but I'm just being honest. And it's not even that it's being 80 period is a bad thing. The signs that he's showing are poor. It don't matter how old he is. It's the fact that he's, declining mentally. There was an interview, there was a press conference. He was explaining in the 80s. He actually had to go and get brain surgery or surgery on his head. There's a chance. At any point, there's a chance that could be what's really, slowing him down. He is in his 80s. He's old. So because of that, there's a chance that, there's major issues going on with him cognitively. Based off of what I just saw physically, yeah, he's passing all his physicals. Fine, whatever. That's what they're going to tell us. Why is he falling? Why is he tripping? He hit his head when he was getting out of one of the planes not too long ago. Just smacked his head on the exit door. On the threshold of the exit door. These are signs of a man who, if you want him to be in this position, at least needs to have somebody with him. And I'm sure they got people close, probably hiding in the scenes, waiting for him, for something bad to happen. Or, they have their crisis response team, I'm sure. But he don't need a crisis response team. He needs to be treated with way more respect because he's an old person. Older people, like, he's not like 50, 60, or even 70. Those people, even in the 70s, you treating 70-year-olds with way more respect. You're walking with them, you got, helping them out. They, cognitively, more often than not, are sharp. They're good, Nowadays, a lot of people in their 70s, they're very sharp, they're very poignant, they're good. They can make all the witty jokes they need to make, blah, blah, blah. But he's not in his 70s. And when he's decided to run. So if he was to be able to take office again, by the end of that term, he'd be 86. Now, not to get religious and talk about the Bible, but the Bible says you get, basically, if I'm paraphrasing correctly, the promise years is 75. So anything over that, you call it what you want. You can call it lucky or unlucky, whatever, but the promise is 75. So, all the signs are there. He's declining mentally. He's falling everywhere. He needs more assistance. And if they're not going to give it to him, which it really looks like they're just not going to give it to him and let him fall to his demise at some point in time, and then turn it over to Kamala or Kamala, however you call it. Or however you say her name, sorry. So because of that, we're gonna be screwed at some point, because a lot of people don't like Kamala at all. Me, I'll save that for another video. Feel me? I feel like with her, she's been real quiet, or like what she does has been minimal because of her actual beliefs. I feel like she can't say or do or act the way she truly wants to act because she has to maintain the liberal facade. But like I said, I'll digress on that and talk about that another time. But back to Biden. He is the sitting president of the United States. Period. Full stop. So, because of that, there needs to be a lot more care because he's older. There needs to be more than what we're doing. We are setting him up to actually hurt himself really bad. And nobody's caring. Nobody cares. There's so much information out there, so much technology. We are the most advanced, nation in the world, blah, blah, blah. But our president is at a point where he may fall and take a bad fall, and he could hurt himself really bad. Now, how strong of a country can we be if unfortunately, hypothetically speaking, I do not want this to happen. He is still our president. But hypothetically speaking, how crazy would it be if something happened, he became immobilized? So how strong as a country will we be if he's in a wheelchair? Those other countries are going to look at us like, oh, it's go time. It's time to go. United States ain't got nothing. If they're not already, I think they got the green light on some shit already. But outside of that, they really going to be like, oh, we can take advantage of them. Our military is, dwindling down. And I'm in no shape to sit there and say anything like that because I'm not in military shape. So I'll keep it at that. But to be totally honest, that's where we are. We're not in a position to sit here and try to make any real moves as a nation because of how we're starting to regress. And the insanity is that we're continuing down this path. Like, we're okay. We're not okay. I mean, I don't know much about the economy, but what I do know is because we're having such horrible inflation, that's going to come back to bite us in the butt some point in time one day. I mean, that's only common sense. At some point, with this inflation and all the stuff that he's signing off on, it's going to come to bite us in the butt. So, but anyway, like I said, I wanted to come to y'all real raw and quick. Pause. But anyway, I'll holler at y'all next time. All right? Peace.